Hello, hello, hello. Hello everybody, welcome back. We got more Ice Life in the background.
And I check our outlets and our stove and candles and everything like that all the time. My husband knows this about me. So 2 nights ago, I went to bed early because I'm currently 34 weeks pregnant. Literally about to pop. I was asleep for a while when suddenly my husband decided to wake me up yelling, "Baby, there's a fire! Fire, fire, fire! Get up!" As quick as I could while 34 weeks pregnant, I got up and grabbed my purse. I was just in automatic shock and just autopilot and knew I needed what to grab. I made it all the way downstairs, yelling for my husband to follow me before he started laughing and telling me that it was a joke. It took me a minute for that to process. I stood there with an open mouth while he laughed and ushered me down the rest of the stairs. I sat on the couch and just started sobbing. It was genuinely the hardest I've ever sobbed. It's like I couldn't get myself to stop and my whole body was shaking. My heart was racing and I couldn't breathe. I've never had this experience before. I was genuinely so panicked. I was so effing upset. My husband apologized and was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. It was just a joke." I just cried until he eventually was like, "What the F? It was just a prank. This is really dramatic." After a few hours, I'd calmed myself down and went to apologize to him. What? You went to apologize to him? He wouldn't accept it because he said that I was being overdramatic and made him feel like garbage for a harmless prank. So, I guess I'm the butthole? I've never been good at taking jokes, so I've been trying to be less sensitive, but I don't know. Okay. OP, in addition to the fact that dredging up your past trauma to play a prank on you is just evil, that's the word for it, it's evil. On top of that, this guy literally threatened the life of both you and his unborn child. Because of this harmless prank, fear-based adrenaline was coursing through your pregnant body. Does adrenaline, hold on, let's look this up. Does adrenaline in a mother affect the baby? Yes, adrenaline levels in a mother can affect the baby. Also, apparently excessive stress in a pregnant mother can affect the baby's temperament and neurobehavioral development. Infants whose mothers experience high levels of stress while pregnant show signs of more depression and irritability. Also, did you guys catch that she had to run down the stairs while pregnant? That is also a level of danger. So this is actually really bad. I think personally we're approaching deal breaker behavior here because this was dangerous. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your husband 3.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for refusing to let my mother-in-law come over and sending her a receipt for our daughter's fridge? So, my husband and I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I'm 6 months pregnant with a boy. We appreciate that our parenting style is very different from that of our parents. We decided to promote certain autonomous behaviors from a young age. Due to my own experience with an eating disorder caused by my upbringing, we prioritize autonomy in food for our daughter and plan to do the same for our son. To foster this, we set up a tiny, semi-functional kitchen for our kids. It includes a small fridge, and my husband even rigged the sink with a weak pump. Our daughter keeps snacks in the fridge in her tiny pantry. The snacks range from bananas to individual chocolates. She has the freedom to take a portion of whatever she wants. When she wants to cook, as in like make a fruit salad, she can do so. Of course, she does not have access to dangerous items, but she helps us cook when she wants to. This method has resulted in our daughter not going crazy at the prospect of candy or chips because she can decide when she wants to have them. She also knows that once she eats her snack for the week, that's it, so she has to learn to pace herself. Now to the actual story. My mother-in-law was in town for a while and we let her stay with us. I actually like her, but it's been a struggle at times because she has very set ways. She is not a fan of the tiny kitchen. She thinks that we're gonna make our daughter obese by allowing her to have snacks whenever she wants. On the first night, she took away the muesli bar that my daughter was eating because dinner was at 6 and it was 4. When we asked her to please give it back and not interfere, she relented and that was that. Or so I thought. Last night, our babysitter got sick, and we asked my mother-in-law to watch our daughter. She agreed since it was just from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and our daughter goes to bed at 7:30 p.m. Me and my husband went out for dinner, and when we returned, we found our daughter awake and crying. I went to soothe her, and my husband went to talk to his mother. It turns out that my mother-in-law had made baked fish with boiled potatoes for dinner. My daughter told her that she doesn't like fish because the smell makes her queasy. My mother-in-law insisted that she had to eat everything on her plate or she wouldn't be allowed to get up. Our daughter ate the potatoes and tried to eat the fish, but she gagged. My mother-in-law got furious, took the plate away, and sent her to bed early. Our daughter got hungry and went to her kitchen to make some banana oats. My mother-in-law heard her, took her food away, threw it out, and then brought out the rest of the uneaten fish, insisting she finish her dinner if she was hungry. Our daughter started crying and, while trying to eat the fish, threw up at the table. My mother-in-law changed her and cleaned up, and that's when we came home. I was livid. I immediately told my mother-in-law that her behavior was unacceptable and that she overstepped our boundaries. I made it clear that she would not be welcome to stay with us again if she couldn't respect our parenting choices. To make matters worse, I discovered the next morning that my mother-in-law had unplugged our daughter's fridge and put it outside. It rained heavily overnight, and the fridge was completely ruined. When I confronted my mother-in-law, she brushed it off, saying that it was for our daughter's own good and that she didn't need a fridge. I decided to send my mother-in-law the receipt for the fridge to underline how serious we are about this. My mother-in-law thinks that I'm overreacting and that I'm being disrespectful to her as the grandmother. My husband's on my side, but he feels caught in the middle. So, am I the butthole for refusing to let my mother-in-law come over again and for sending her a receipt for our daughter's fridge? So, as for the fridge, if you just remove all the context of the story and just reduce it to simply, your mother-in-law put the fridge outside, the fridge got ruined, then yeah, the rest of the story doesn't matter. She just owes you a fridge because she broke your fridge, and that's how that works. But the problem isn't that she broke your fridge. The real problem is that she broke your trust. So you're definitely not the butthole OP. I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your mother-in-law 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. It's incredibly ironic that she demands respect as a grandmother, but she's not giving you respect as the mother. Am I the butthole for not telling my husband that I got a bonus? I'm a 41-year-old woman, and I married my 45-year-old husband last November. We only finally moved in together a few months before the wedding. We had been dating for 3 years. On paper, I earn more than he does, but I end up bringing home about the same as he does because I have health, vision, dental, long-term and short-term disability, life insurance, and retirement taken out of my check. He doesn't. We have really been butting heads over money lately. I still have to give him half the rent, but he literally pays for nothing else. I pay for the utilities, phone bill, groceries, cleaning supplies, and just about everything else. Also, our electric bill is through the roof right now because of the heat wave. The issue is that I'm often out of money by the time that I pay everything, and I'm left with absolutely nothing on some weeks. Then he tells me that I need to save my money, and he's reluctant to pay even $5 of his own money for soap. However, he is constantly finding some new hobby to hyper-focus on. Lately, it's been his electric bicycle. Every week, there are packages with new parts for it. It's all he talks about. Back when I got my Christmas bonus, it was his RC car, which he doesn't even look at now. And I had to pay a huge amount of money for parts and sensors. When tax time came around, he found out how much my tax refund was going to be, and he pestered me for weeks over a wildly expensive handgun. As in, he talked about it every waking moment. He literally wouldn't leave me alone. So I bought it because he insisted it was the one that he wanted. He then spent a little bit of his own money